Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching Channels Television, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the news at 10, a reminder of our major stories tonight. Protest condemnation trail INEC's choice of PDP candidates in the Ondo governorship election. Sharif faction applauds electoral umpire's decision. Commissioner of Police warns against attacks on security personnel by members of the public. Court declines an application seeking an order against the arrest of 5 of the 8 judges whose houses were recently raided by DSS operatives. And the FBI to reopen investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of personal email while she was Secretary of State. To remember all our top stories you can find on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to view us live on a mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an Eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Here are a few pictures you sent into Eyewitness Sports, so let's take a look at them, shall we? We begin with this photo, which shows the poor condition of this road in New Market area, Babuku, in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on local council authorities to fix it. The next photo shows a man hanging on dangerously to a moving commercial bus in Igondo area of Lagos. Our Eyewitness reporter wants perpetrators to think carefully of the risks before embarking on such venture. We can see a fallen electricity pole in New Mebamu Street in Ojo here in Lagos. Our Eyewitness reporter wants relevant agencies to replace it. We can also see the aftermath of a road accident along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. Also in Lagos, our Eyewitness reporter wants motorists to adhere to speed limits. Our journey ends with this photo showing a moving truck overloaded with plastic items along the Berger axis of the Lagos-Ibadan highway.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Our focus on legal matters continues. A federal high court sitting in Abuja, the nation's capital, has declined an application filed by a Lagos-based lawyer, Mr. Olukoya Ogungbeje, seeking an order stopping the arrest or any untoward action against the 8 judges whose houses were recently raided by the operatives of the Department of State Services. Those being restrained by the order include the President, the Department of State Services, and the Attorney General of the Federation. Justice Gabriel Kolawole, in a bench ruling, held that he needed to resolve a number of issues, including the local stand-by of the plaintiff in an inter-party hearing before he could make a pronouncement on the prayer. Meanwhile, the trial judge has ordered the respondents to appear in court on November 15th to show cause why the interim restraining order against further arrest of the judges should not be granted. 2 of the 15 suspects involved in the Ukpo Abagana mayhem that led to the death of a young man and destruction of police property worth millions of naira have been arraigned. The suspects, Emmanuel Umude and Onyebuchi Okonkwo, are facing a 14-count charge.
The charges against the suspects include the murder of Mr. Chigozie Okafor of Agwakezi village, Ukpo, an attempted murder of 4 police officers attached to Ukpo Divisional Police Station, namely Inspector Ibrahim Nuhu, Sergeant Haruna Dodu, Sergeant Dafor Sensha, and Sergeant Cephas Mato, who is still in coma. Other charges are the stealing of AK-47 rifles belonging to the police, They are also accused of willfully setting ablaze 2 police Hilux patrol vehicles, an AK-47 rifle with 10 rounds of ammunition. The accused are being tried under the terrorism law for the destruction of the police property, which is a public facility with explosive device, thereby endangering human life and causing economic loss. After hearing from the prosecuting and defending counsel, the magistrate ordered the prosecuting counsel to forward all documents and exhibits to the office of the Attorney General, and thereafter announced that each of the suspects be remanded in prison custody since the court cannot grant them bail. They were, however, given leave to file for bail application at the High Court. The matter is adjourned to January 16, 2017, while the prosecuting counsel refers every comment to the police. The defense counsel expresses fairness in the court outing and hopes that his client and first defendant, Emmanuel Ude, will be granted bail soon.
We came for what they call the remand warrants. We have done the remand warrants. He has been remanded and caused a case file order to be taken to the DPP, where the DPP will vet it. If there is a case for him to answer, he will be properly arraigned at the High Court. But if there is no case for him to answer, DPP will discharge him.
Recall that on August 19 this year, suspected Abagana youth stormed Ukpo town over land dispute and shot a young man to death. They also destroyed police property worth millions of naira.
Staying with security matters, at least 7 people have been killed, several others injured following an attack by suspected herdsmen in Kaninkon village in Jema local government area of Kaduna State. The latest attack comes barely 2 weeks after gunmen invaded Godogodo village in the same local government area, killing over 40 people and burning several houses. According to residents who spoke to our correspondent on the telephone, the gunmen invaded the village yesterday and killed the village head and 6 other people. The latest attack has ignited tension in neighboring communities in the southern part of Kaduna, where several people have been killed by gunmen since July this year. Kaduna State Police spokesperson Aliyu Usman, who confirmed the incident, says more policemen have been deployed to the village and other surrounding communities in the local government area. Let's get more on the news at 10 now from Ibrahim Adra, who is in Abuja. Hi, Ibrahim.
Hello, Amarachi. How are you today? Now, troops of the Joint Task Force, codename Operation Delta Save, have arrested 44 suspected members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra in Bayelsa State, southern Nigeria. The coordinator of the Joint Media Campaign Center, Lieutenant Colonel Olaolu Daudu, revealed that troops of Sector 2, Operation Delta Save in Bayelsa State, made the arrest while acting on intelligence reports. The troops trailed a group of people, which led to the arrest of the suspects at Lakeview Club along Mabington Estate, or Kaka Road in Yenagoa, the capital of the state. Lieutenant Colonel Daudu adds that the arrest is in fulfillment of the troops' mandate to rid the Niger Delta region of crude oil theft, sea robbery, and protect oil and gas installations. Any member of the public who obstructs lawful operations of the police in Lagos State will be arrested. That's according to the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, Mr. Fatai Owosheni. He made this known during the parade of suspects arrested in the state since October the 1st, 2016. Mr. Owosheni also advised parents and guardians to ensure their wards do not engage in criminal activities.
The fact that people don't have jobs does not allow for them to be engaged in criminality.
No justification.
No justification at all. I want to re-emphasize it. Where anyone in any part of Lagos obstructs the police from performing its lawful duties in any manner whatsoever, especially by directing weapon to any policeman, that will be matched with appropriate force as it becomes expedient. Impunity of any form in any manner will no longer be tolerated. And that is why we are asking And we are pleading that you should use your medium to advise parents and guardians.
Human rights group, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has questioned the rationale behind the amendment of the Act establishing the Code of Conduct Bureau and Code of Conduct Tribunal by the Senate. The upper legislative chamber yesterday altered the law, transferring the controlling power over the CCB and CCT to the legislature away from the president. But in a statement, SERAP condemns the action, which it insists does not serve the interest of Nigerians, but that of lawmakers. The statement adds, quote, "This is in fact a blatant case of conflict of interest and betrayal of trust. The clear victims of this betrayal of trust are the economically and socially vulnerable sectors of the population who have been terribly let down by their own lawmakers." End of quote. The group calls on Nigerians to reject the move and pledges to work with other members of the civil society to vigorously fight what it describes as perversion of the rule of law. The federal government is working to block all revenue leakages in the operations of Nigerian ports. The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Usman, made this remark when she visited the ports in Port Harcourt and Onne in Rivers State.
It's a first official visit to the seaport in Onne, Rivers State. The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Usman, meets with the leadership of the port on an operational assessment. After getting a heads up to the challenges and operations of the port, the MD moves to see things for herself. She outlined some of the new plans for the port.
We are looking at plugging all revenue leakages. One of the important things we're doing at Onne Port is to ensure that all revenues raised for the federal government are transferred straight into the consolidated revenue accounts. We've noted the need to ensure compliance with the Treasury single accounts as it relates to service boat collection. We're implementing that. We have our standard operations procedure to ensure that all collection agents that are collecting revenue on behalf of the federal government pay such monies directly to the government, and any payments due these agents will then be computed and paid to them.
Sitting on a land area of over 2,539 hectares and still expanding, Onne Port is home to the nation's oil and gas free zone.
With the promulgation of Decree number 8 of March 1996 under the late General Sani Abacha, there were only 8 different companies that were licensed to operate within the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority. Today, as we speak, there are well up to 200 different companies operating within the port.
At the end of the tour, the NPA boss explains to journalists why the existing lease and concession agreements with the operators need to be reviewed.
The port manager and the operations here are very tidy. We have seen deployment of infrastructure efficiently and effectively. I have concerns about the lease agreements that NPA has entered into. Some of the lease agreements are not enabling the lessees take possession of their premise. They have not taken possession of the land, so they're not making any payments to the authority.
The shortfall of revenues due to dwindling crude oil prices and militancy in the Niger Delta, experts believe ensuring accountability in the operations of the seaports in the country is vital. Emmanuel Erei, Channels Television News.
This is the news at 10. We get right back to Amarachi, Lagos for more reports.
Thanks a lot, Ibrahim. The Nigerian Immigration Service has announced the recruitment of 888 persons with effect from Monday, October 31st, 2016. The Comptroller General of the NIS, Mr. Mohammed Babandide, who announced the appointments in Abuja, explains that the criteria used include a drug test, security clearance, and medical fitness. Mr. Babandide also notes that the service is exploring new technology to improve security around the nation's borders. A total of 1,470 people reported for screening in Abuja between August and September 2016. Still ahead on the news at 10, FBN Quest asks investors to avoid Tier 2 commercial banks over record loan loss provision. That's a business news. Please join us again.